Guys, today we're trying to expose an ugly shit content creator, starting with the name tqttle. I heard this on bottito, and it's time for me to spread the word with her. If you don't know bottito is a block tropican. It's a block tropican and content creator with Roblox. Excuse me. 12. And she's a content creator with Roblox. Like Roblox things. So let's go with tqttle. But first, if you don't know tqttle, he's a popular content creator on YouTube or kind of on TikTok. And this exposed video will expose everything about how tqttle was. Here it comes.
Hi. Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a bit different. I will be exposing a content creator going by the name of tqttle. This person has done some heinous shit. The things I'm...
Yeah. She was an ugly purple thing on Roblox that you shouldn't follow or hate. If she messaged you, and I don't think she should message you. By the end of the video, this and change her life up. How was tqttle really about? Seriously, she's gonna be so cooked.
Be listening in this video will gradually get worse and worse and worse, especially at the end. So I really recommend watching everything so you can get the full scale of all the shit that she has done.
Yeah. I have commented on her, and so Bailey needs to stop. She is named Bailey. I mean, he needs to be involved.
Now, before we actually start, I do want to mention that this is my real voice.
But that's not what this video is going to be about. Because this video is going to be pretty long, I will be putting some timestamps right here so you guys don't have to watch everything if you don't have the time to. But I really do recommend you do. I'm going to be first talking about my personal experience with tqttle because I actually used to be close friends with her. So tqttle and I met each other somewhere in the spring of 2025. Back then, she honestly seemed like a pretty good person, and I became friends with her pretty fast. Close friends even. However...
Yeah. She was very good friends with tqttle. However, they got something that she can't.
There were some allegations about her saying a slur a few months back. She genuinely seemed regretful about this, so I thought she said it by mistake or something. since back then and regretted her decisions. And one day, she decided to apologize to the person that she said this slur to. However, this person ended up not forgiving her. They had every right to, because you're not obligated to accept people's apologies. Can you guess what Tattle's reaction to them not forgiving her was?
I'm not just I'm trying to watch you a bit.
Reaction to them not forgiving her was?
I just said, she said this lame.
Wrong. I don't really want to talk about the subject too much because it has really affected me emotionally, and I also do think she was just mentally very unstable back then. But basically, she ended up threatening to harm herself to me several times across the next few weeks. At one point, she even ended up sending a picture, if you know what I mean. Now back then, I did know she was going through a lot mentally, and I still know that to this day, so I never ended up blaming her for this. But it is something that needs to be addressed. However, this did not take away the fact that this genuinely did affect me mentally and emotionally. Even to this day, I am kind of still traumatized about this. Anyhow, she ended up coming to me a few days later after all of this, and said she was doing better mentally. So that's good. And we both moved on from this, and she wouldn't do anything problematic after that anymore. Or so I thought. Sometime after all of this, Cam and someone else were planning on exposing a different person. Now, I will not go into detail what this person did, but basically, they manipulated minors into writing his initials on their skin, if you know what I mean. It gives his victims roller garden items if they did this, because this was back in the roller garden era when it was like really popular, which is obviously disgusting.
Yeah, that is honestly this so disgusting. That is disgusting.
Tattle said that she would help them gather proof by going undercover as one of his victims. She did so by using a red band to fake write his initials onto her skin, which is a really good idea, but Cam already had enough proof against this person. Tattle knew this too, which meant it's very likely Tattle only went to this person so she could get Roa Garden items from him. And I'm not going to mention everything Tattle did, but Tattle started going on like a spree of doing controversial things and problematic things, and because of that, I obviously started doubting Tattle. I obviously started doubting Tattle a bit, but she was still my friend. She was still close to me, and I cared about her, and I didn't want people to hate her, so I always ended up forgiving her, and always gave her a second chance, because I just thought she was lost, and was just going through a lot, and she didn't know any better, and because I always tried to excuse her actions, this ended up causing a lot of fights with me and my friends, because they obviously did not see her the way I did. Meanwhile, Tattle was making everything way worse by making fake rumors about himself, and spreading them around like it's fucking bodybuilder's legs, and I constantly asked her to stop doing this because she was already at such a vulnerable position where her reputation was about to fall apart, and I was trying to hold it together. However, she wouldn't stop, and eventually I had enough, and so I confronted her about it, and we got into a fight, a pretty big one. And I'm not gonna give you the details of what happened in this fight, but she showed me that she didn't care about affection or about my feelings, and acted extremely ignorant and selfish. And obviously, this broke me because I thought that she cared about me the way I cared about her, but she showed me that she didn't. And in a fit of rage, I ended up saying something very hurtful to her. Basically, what I said was she was exactly like someone who has hurt her a lot. And I take full accountability for this because I should not have said this. However, I ended up apologizing to her about this later on. But that doesn't take away the fact that I still shouldn't have said that to Tattle. Anyway, after this huge fight, we stopped being friends. I blocked her, and I just wanted nothing to do with her anymore because she hurt me a lot. But about a few weeks after this, she started to make hate videos about Cam and someone else. And eventually, she even started to come into my comments, insulting me and trying to provoke me. But I didn't want anything to do with her at this point, so I messaged her, asking if she could stop and leave me alone. But she started to avoid all responsibility, and she acted completely innocent. And I'm going to show you guys a few screenshots of this conversation. Hey Tattle, I noticed that you've been commenting on my life and comment section sending hate. I really don't want anything to do with you anymore, so could you please just leave me alone? When did I spread hate on your life? You commented with flop or something on my life. You've also commented me when I had no ideas on one of my videos. They're both clearly meant to be hate. Yeah, because you're a flop like live streamer. And the comment was hate. The video's my head. Just like the movies or whatever. Now she starts trying to put the blame on me by talking about the thing I told her during the fight. Targets me by sending a big picture of my encourage you to be responsible. These standards? Tattle, you did so much horrible stuff, and I was still willing to be your friend. Wow, you sent gore to me and a GC of your own. 2, you threatened to hurt yourself, or worse, to me. 3, you said teaser. 4, you pretended to date a pedo for girl garden items, including fake his initials into your leg. 5, you said a TikTok over sent racist messages in the past. Oh, getting into fights with my friends, causing them to be mad. You made It's not good. Due to the jokes that were made, Sam read my answer from number 2. So, how does it affect it directly onto others, or to change the blur after all of this? I don't exactly feel comfortable around Tano anymore, and her past actions anymore. That's what I remembered we promised anyway. For the next couple of months, me and Tano would sometimes still talk with each other from time to time. Even though we weren't close friends anymore, we were still friends. However, I would always keep my guard up against her just to actually change. But of course, however, Azur never said anything beforehand. Cam was even there to witness it. And she said that Azur had never even said anything before them. And Azur, not knowing what it meant, was obviously confused. And in her confusion, she ended up saying as she did not understand the severity of saying it. Tana would proceed to record Azur saying she would only cut out without actually including any context, and would end up sending the clip to several people and in several different servers, likely attempting to ruin Azur's reputation. Here's the full clip of what happened, by the way.
Literally just said I never said what the fuck is it? Let me Google that.
In short, Tano tricked Azur into saying a slur and spread it around, trying to ruin Azur's reputation. Tano even ended up sending me the clip. However, Azur and Cam had already explained to me by then what the context was and what really happened. So me, Azur, Cam, and a bunch of other people ended up confronting Tano about it. And in this confrontation, other people also started mentioning other problematic things that Tano did that I wasn't even aware of. Unsurprisingly, Tano would yet again avoid all responsibility and try to act like she was innocent.
Yeah, I know.
Do you remember the promise me and Tano made? Yeah, I was obviously pissed.
Yeah, she acts like a little angel. But she's not. Because she is a demon from hell. If we die with you, you'll be burning and rotting in hell.
I had finally thought Tano finally changed, but she just ended up breaking my promise, and this time I genuinely had enough. She broke her side of the promise, so I was going to break mine. So I also confronted her about all the problematic things she did in the past. This way, she couldn't act innocent anymore, since I had actual proof. And what was her reaction to this? She kicked me out of the group chat, and anytime someone would attempt to add me back in, she'd kick me out again. How can you have the nerve to act all innocent, then when someone proves you otherwise, you just end up acting all upset and angry and trying to avoid all responsibility? So yet again, me and Tano went into DMs. I'll show you a few messages. Are you serious? Dude, you have been asked to me and everyone else. Of course, I'm also fed up. Potato, I walked in and we had a good friendship ever since. Why are you ruining it by taking sides? Because they've shown me all the shit that you've really done. So yeah, of course, I'm taking their side. Now she starts, again, trying to shift the blame onto me by accusing me of other things that I did. But I explained to her that I had...
By the way, I listen to this all the time. Whenever I take a breakdown or... yeah. I watch this every time.
already taken accountability for this. You, however, do not take accountability for everything. You always twist the story to make you the victim or make someone else look like the bad guy. You haven't changed at all and will not admit you're in the wrong. Oh my god, yes, I did. Oh. No, you didn't. You recently tricked Azur into saying a slur and made it look like she's racist when she didn't even know what the word meant. And unsurprisingly again, she ends up trying to make me the bad guy by now mentioning the thing I told her half a year ago at this point. I have already said I regret saying that to you, and I've even said that I understand that you're upset with me about it. I've taken accountability for it, but you have done so much worse, yet you've never taken accountability for it. And yes, I will bring up old information if you're going to be defending all the things you did in the past. I would have said that if you just have taken accountability for the other things that you've done. Land in my ear, you didn't take accountability. Well, was it before or after I apologize? Now she starts saying that I'm trying to make fun of her mental health by sending the things that she did in the past. I am not making fun of your mental health in the past. But if you're going to defend, then I will bring it up because you traumatized me by doing all of that. And if you act like you don't give two fucks about anything you've done, which is very clearly wrong, I will bring it up. I'm the last person once told my apology doesn't mean we'll forget. And I said sorry for everything. Now she starts saying that.
This is... okay lang.
Can't believe I just discovered this. Find factory direct prices on Alibaba.com. Download now and kickstart your business.
You know that I'm proud and I can't get the words out.
And this is just the file.
Saying that one insult to her, but I've already taken accountability for that. Here's the full list of all the things that she has done that I mentioned in this video. Please do know that it's probably way more that she has done that I haven't been able to mention inside of this video. I'm gonna have to ask you guys to spread as much awareness about this situation as you can, because recently, channel has been growing a lot in popularity. Please, because I already did my part, so now it's time for you guys to do your part.
Yeah, it's time to do yours too. Bye-bye.